Alright, what's up you guys? I am here with my first tier list video. I mentioned I'd be doing this in a post, and I already have a few suggestions. I wanted to start out with something easy and quick, just in case it doesn't work out. But if you're seeing this, obviously it worked out then, so awesome. Congratulations to me for figuring this out. But, yeah, here we go with the WrestleMania tier list. You know, this is nothing new. Other people have done this, obviously, so you know how this works. I have all the WrestleMania logos there. I'm going to try to go from 1 to 37. 36 and 37, I'm going to try to group as just one pay-per-view. Because that's how I view them anyway. To me, they're just... We'll get there when we get there. We'll talk about it and stuff, like where I'm going to place it. I will obviously have to consider those ones differently. But we'll get there then. So, yeah, we have S, which is obviously superior, best of the best, you know, the greatest WrestleManias of all time there. A is great, you know, one of the best. You have B, which is, you know, good, almost average, you know, kind of getting to average. And then C, we have average. And then D, we just have the worst garbage you could possibly imagine. Like WrestleMania 11. But hey, we'll get there. Alright, so let's start out here with WrestleMania 1. So the thing about WrestleMania 1 for me is this show doesn't quite hold up as well as it did in 1985, obviously. This was a game changer. This saved, you know, sports entertainment, you know, for Vince McMahon. You know, this saved the company. It was either this succeeded and we saw the monopoly that we now have and everything, or this failed and who knows where wrestling would have went. So just for the historic nature of the event itself, you know, I'm not taking that into consideration for quality, but for quality, I'm gonna just put it in a B category. You know, quality-wise, it's more average, but, you know, you have to look at what it did. And, you know, I'm trying not to consider the historic nature of it too much. I'm trying not to at all, but I feel like with WrestleMania 1, you kind of have to. And then the rest, we kind of base off quality. WrestleMania 2. Yeah, alright. That's an obvious one. Some will argue the worst WrestleMania of all time. You know, that's up to you. But, yeah. You had 3 events, 3 pay-per-views. Well, not 3 pay-per-views. 1 pay-per-view, 3 events, 3 arenas. You know, 3 cities. Which, that format was fine. I just wouldn't do it ever again. Just never again. Let's not do that. The steel cage match main event. I enjoy that match. You call it a guilty pleasure, whatever. The commentary for it is horrendous, but hey, the in-ring action ain't bad. You have the NFL Battle Royal, the boxing match with Roddy Piper and Mr. T. So yeah, not too much to write home about other than those couple highlights there. Alright, WrestleMania 3. I'm going to put it in A. You know, this is another one. I'm trying not to look at historical nature. Match quality, you know, it's not the best in-ring WrestleMania of all time, no. But to me, this is... Still, to me, it's the biggest WrestleMania of all time. You cannot get any bigger than Andre and Hogan. You just can't. I don't think they were ever able to top that main event. The main event itself, though, you know, do I agree with Meltzer's... I think he gave it like a negative star rating or something. I don't think it's in the negatives, but it's definitely not... You know, it's a spectacle. This is not a technical masterpiece. You're not going to get that here. So, yeah, I'm going to put it in A. It is a spectacle. You do have just the electric feeling of the crowd. You have the Pontiac Silverdome. You have, you know, just that crowd. I love seeing footage and hearing interviews of people who were there, and they said that was a pay-per-view that felt different. Like that was a fucking event. And I love watching it back. I can watch it no problem. I quite enjoy it. It's not a bad show. It's not negative star ratings or anything like that, but it's also not technical masterpiece. So I'm gonna throw it in A category. Um, I mean, Macho Man and Steamboat. Let's just enough said. WrestleMania 4. This one's tough. As much as I love WrestleMania 4, this is an unbiased list. I'm gonna put it. Oh, this is tough. I'm gonna put it in C for now. We might come back to that one. I think it has 16 matches crammed together. You know, Another one. It's more of storytelling and spectacle than actual in-ring quality for this one. But yeah, this is one of my personal favorite moments in wrestling. Was Macho Man winning the belt here? It just made sense. It felt right, and then that kind of leads us to our next one. But WrestleMania 4, we're gonna put it in C for now. It's not bad, but obviously it has its problems. I wouldn't do a tournament style again for a WrestleMania. It's cool for one night only stuff. Like, it's cool because that's the tournament WrestleMania. So it's cool. But yeah, let's not do that again. WrestleMania 5, I'm going to put definitely below C. Or below WrestleMania 4 and C. It's just, yeah, you remember this pay-per-view for maybe Warrior and Rick Rude. Most people probably won't remember that one, though. You remember it for the main event. The Mega Powers exploded. Hogan and, I almost said Steamboat. Hogan and Savage. An all-time great main event in terms of storytelling. Once again, though, not your technical masterpieces by any means on this show. But, it's still a fun show to go back to. I still enjoy it. WrestleMania 6. I'm going to put... Some people might be mad at me for this one, but I'm going to put it above WrestleMania. I think it is a B. You have a lot of good stuff on here. You have, of course, one of the kind of biggest main events in WrestleMania history again, after Hogan and Andre. Warrior and Hogan was... I think it's a great match. You might have people that disagree. I'd say it's a good 3.5-star match. That's pretty good for a WrestleMania main event back in this period where, obviously, it's the golden era of WWF. It was catering to more of a sports entertainment audience, especially with their big guys, their main eventers. Your Hogans, your Savages. So yeah. Other than that, you have a decent undercard. You have Jake Roberts and Ted DiBiase. I love that match. So, yeah, overall, this is a good card. Overall. I said overall too many times there. Been smoking a little too much. And I'll take a hit to that. WrestleMania 7. I'm going to put WrestleMania 7 not there. Just above WrestleMania 5. So as you can see, what I am doing, let's say this one here, obviously the better than this one here. So I'm going the tier list, but I'm ranking them in the tiers as well, if that makes sense. So, yeah, WrestleMania 7, you have the, Undertaker versus Snuka, the first streak match. Nothing to write home about, though. You have Hogan and Slaughter. This, to me, never felt like a WrestleMania main event. And as you guys know, this was supposed to be in the Los Angeles Coliseum. But poor ticket sales. They want to tell you that it was security problems. That might have had a little something to do with it, but No, it was low ticket sales. They sold just enough to pack the arena. Um, I think by January only 20 some thousand were sold, which isn't good if you want to pack the LA Coliseum. But yeah, Slaughter and Hogan, I think it's one of Hogan's better WrestleMania matches. I think it's underrated, actually. But to me, WrestleMania main event worthy? No. To me, this is SummerSlam. This kind of feels like a SummerSlam more than anything. So, WrestleMania. Where's the 8? Alright, here's WrestleMania 8. WrestleMania 8, as you guys know, is my second favorite WrestleMania of all time. No joke. But, obviously, it has its flaws. I'm gonna put it low B, though. I still think it's good. You have Flair and Savage. Just fucking phenomenal match. Great storytelling there. That whole feud was amazing. Go revisit that if you can. You have Bret Hart and Roddy Piper for the Intercontinental Belt. One of my favorite WrestleMania matches of all time. Two of my favorites right there. Roddy Piper and Bret Hart put on magic. Got away with a blade job. And then, of course, Flair and Savage, they both got fined because their blade job was a little more obvious. Bret knew how to play it safe. But, yeah. Overall, WrestleMania 8's good on the undercard. It's just the main event is absolute shit. And it is a complete botched ending. So, yeah. I really wish Flair and Savage closed WrestleMania 8. But, unfortunately, it did not. So, yeah, I'm just going to put it there for now. WrestleMania 9, I think it's better than WrestleMania 2. So that's where I'm going to place it. I don't know. This is one of those ones that I can actually go back and rewatch from a guilty pleasure standpoint. Like, to me, it's so bad it's good at times. Like, Doink the Clown versus Crush. Come on. That's just... Come on. You have The Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez. That's entertaining as shit. Go back and rewatch that. Honestly, it's great. Yokozuna and Bret Hart. I think it's a great main event. Unfortunately, I think they cut it by 10 minutes or more than that. So, yeah, unfortunately that got cut for time. And then you have Hogan coming in, just ruining everything. So, yeah, WrestleMania 9, definitely D tier. WrestleMania 10... this is tough. Okay, I'm going to put it in S for now, but it'll probably be my lowest S. I did consider A, but I'd probably put it in S tier for me. You have the ladder match. You know, unfortunately, it's an outdated ladder match because all these the ladder matches evolved over the years. It really has. I don't think for the better. This is the kind of ladder match I prefer. When you're just two guys, you have a ladder, and you're just going for the belt, and you're using the ladder as a weapon. You know, you look at Triple H and The Rock. That's another good example. Great ladder match. Bret and Owen, one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time. One of the greatest WWE matches of all time, period. You have the feel-good moment at the end. So yeah, WrestleMania 10 is just, it's up there. WrestleMania 11, I put it a little bit above WrestleMania 2. The main event for WrestleMania 11 worked. I still don't agree that a celebrity should be in a WrestleMania main event. But he made his own. And Bam Bam Bigelow always puts on a great fucking show. It's just everything else is absolutely forgettable. WrestleMania 12. Alright. I'm going to put it low B. Very low B. Actually, I'll put it above WrestleMania. The original. Come on. There we go. The Iron Man match, it's not my favorite Iron Man match. I prefer, territory style Iron Man matches, or even WCW style, NWA. That's my type of Iron Man match. I think it would have done better if there were falls in this match. I definitely appreciate the story of, oh, neither of them got a fall. That's amazing. We got to go into overtime. What's going to happen? But for the crowd's sake, especially a WWF crowd in 1996, it would have benefited with more falls. It wasn't the kind of crowd that you would do that for. Having to go into overtime. Have it go into overtime. Have it be a tie. Have it be 2-2 or 1-1 even. The undercard's good. I love the backlot brawl, but there's not too much good wrestling on the show, unfortunately, other than your main event. Yeah. So, WrestleMania 13. I'm gonna put it very high C. I'll put it there. Yeah, I think we're good. So, WrestleMania 13, you have a main event that doesn't really work. Undertaker and Sid. I think it was Psycho Sid at the time. Yeah, you just had a main event that didn't work. This did not feel like a WrestleMania worthy main event. I don't know, it was average. It was kind of an in-your-house pay-per-view main event feeling. You, of course, had one of the greatest matches of all time. To me, this is actually probably WWE's greatest match. Stone Cold and Bret Hart. Submission match. One of the greatest matches of all time, period. That's probably, that's up there for one of my favorites. And, I think that's the greatest WrestleMania match out there. But I know other people will disagree, and we'll get to that later. WrestleMania 14, for some reason, is down here. WrestleMania 14, this is a very middle-of-the-road pay-per-view for me. The Chicago Street Fight's really good. You, of course, have your main event, which is kind of the big, intrigue of the show. We have Mike Tyson, and then, of course, Stone Cold versus Shawn Michaels in what really turned the tide in WWF history, period. This was a very historic pay-per-view. A lot of people, don't really recognize that. Maybe nowadays. But, yeah, WrestleMania 14, where the hell do I put it? I'm going to put it, fuck it. I'm going to put it very low B. I might be giving it a little too much credit, but, yeah. WrestleMania 15. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm going to put it the high D for now. This might anger some people, but let me just read off this card quick. I happen to have a copy of WrestleMania 15. You have the Brawl for All. You have Butterbean versus Bart Gunn. Brawl for All was one of their biggest failures, just absolute biggest failures. You have the Hell in a Cell, Undertaker versus Big Boss Man. To me, the worst Hell in a Cell match. Is that still the worst? I don't know. I haven't seen certain modern ones. So, I don't know. Well, no, that's not the worst anymore. I think The Fiend and Seth Rollins is worse. But, yeah. You have Kane versus Triple H, very middle of the road. Mankind versus Big Show, referee match, middle of the road again. This is really, even the four-way match, I enjoyed, but, middle of the road. The main event is really the only thing people remember this show for fondly. You have The Rock and Stone Cold, the first of their trilogy, and they put on a great match, don't get me wrong, but, yeah, to me, it's a one-match show, unfortunately. WrestleMania 2000, I love this pay-per-view. It's a guilty pleasure, though. I'm going to put it... We'll put it there. We'll put it above WrestleMania 13. I love this show, but like I said, this is an unbiased list. So, yeah, this is the most Attitude Era feeling pay-per-view of the WrestleMania repertoire. You had the Triangle Ladder match, which obviously is a classic. I really enjoyed the Hardcore Battle Royal. You have the Great Triple Threat Double Fall match. I think it was Jericho, Benoit, and Angle. Just fucking phenomenal match. It's kind of your main event where it falls. It's just not a WrestleMania caliber main event. It should have been. I mean, it could have been many other things. It could have been Triple H and the Rock. It could have been Jericho, Triple H. I don't give a shit. Like, it could have been so many more things, and it's just a failure of a main event. Where are we at? WrestleMania 17. Alright, so obviously it's above WrestleMania 10. There's not much to say about this one, because I'd be repeating myself. Great fucking main event. Rock and Stone Cold. To me, this is the top of their rivalry. This is the top in terms of popularity that the WWE/F ever got. This was the hottest period for them. This was kind of that big climax. Hottest period. I never took a hit earlier when I said I'd take a hit. But yeah, WrestleMania 17, you have the great hardcore match. You have Shane and Vince, which is fun. Angle and Benoit, one of the better matches they've had. So yeah, enough said. Nothing more needs to be said here. WrestleMania 18, I'm gonna put below WrestleMania 3, but to me it's A tier. Stone Cold and Scott Hall, to me that's kind of your big blemish here. Christian and DDP. There's a lot of filler matches here, but you have Hogan and The Rock. Obviously not for match quality, but for spectacle. Once again, that is a phenomenal match for a spectacle standpoint. Your main event, though, I think, it's obvious at this point. Hogan and Rock should have closed. The main event just couldn't follow that. You had two matches try to follow WrestleMania 18. You had two matches try to follow Hogan and Rock. So, yeah, overall, though, it's still a pay-per-view I quite enjoy. I love the opener. It's fun for me. And Undertaker versus Ric Flair is my favorite streak match. Sorry, it still is. WrestleMania 19. Alright, I don't know where to put that one yet, but as you guys know, that's my all-time favorite WrestleMania. So, that's where it would be for me. Is it better than 17, though? I don't know. I've really always had a hard time with that. So it's going to go there for now. Maybe I'll change it at the very end. I don't know. Maybe I'll make another decision. Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho, all-time classic. You have Stone Cold's final match versus The Rock to close out their trilogy, finally putting The Rock over. Great story there. I love the main event. You obviously have the blemish of the Shooting Star Press, but we won't talk about that. You have the street fight, which is very fun, between Hogan and Vince. I just love this fucking pay-per-view. I love it, top to bottom. Triple H and Booker T, yeah, that's a blemish. A-Train and Big Show versus The Undertaker and Nathan Jones being affiliated. That doesn't really scream WrestleMania to me, but hey, it is what it is. WrestleMania 20, for me, I'm going to put right here. Right below 19. Another all-time classic. You have one of my personal favorite WrestleMania main events, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Benoit. Him and Eddie, still one of my favorite moments in wrestling. You have Eddie and Kurt Angle, great WWE title match. The tag team title matches, you could go without them. Undertaker and Kane, you could go without. That was more just for the return of the dead man. You have John Cena and Big Show, which is enjoyable. Christian and Chris Jericho, another one that's underrated. I love that match. And then you have fucking Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, or Dilberg, as he's called around here on this channel. Yeah, Dilberg. Yeah, this match, I just like to go laugh at it at this point. But to me, this is top tier WrestleMania. Hmm. I, I think yeah, I put that S. Yeah, for now at least. We might do some reordering. WrestleMania 21. I'm gonna put A tier. Uh, A tier. Mm. All right, I'm gonna put it very low A tier. You know, you have a great opener, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio. You have the first ever Money in the Bank ladder match, and to some people, still the best. You have, um, you know, two world title matches. Cena and JBL you could go without, but I enjoyed Triple H and Batista. I think it's a good match. And then you have Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels, one of the greatest WrestleMania matches of all time. Undertaker and Randy Orton, phenomenal. So yeah, to me it's low A tier. WrestleMania 22, as much as I love it, I'm gonna put it high B. Um, yeah, yeah, I think I'm good with that one. That one's tough because I do love this one, but it's a very fun pay per view. I think more than anything, it's just more fun and entertaining. You may have some short non wrestling matches that no one really cares about, like a pillow fight and Booker T and Boogeyman, but you still have great moments in there. The feel of it's great. You have a good Money in the Bank ladder match. Shawn Michaels and Vince is real fun. Great main event. Good triple threat. So yeah, I love WrestleMania 22. WrestleMania 23, I'm going to put... I don't know, I put it a little higher than most people would, probably. But, yeah, right below WrestleMania 3 for me. You have two great world title matches. You have Battle of the Billionaires. I personally could go without. You know me. Big pet peeve is celebrity involvement in wrestling, but it's WrestleMania, so it's going to be there. So I just kind of ignore that one. Great Money in the Bank ladder match. Chris Benoit MVP, great. So yeah, top to bottom, just a great show. Trying to speed this along here. WrestleMania 24. That for me is A tier. I'm going to put it right below 18. Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair, obviously, just great moment. Undertaker and Edge is a very underrated main event. I think people are starting to see that for what it was. That was a great main event. Even the triple threat, I think, is good. Big Show and Floyd, that's an example of celebrity use that actually works. So, yeah, top to bottom, you have some average stuff, but I don't really think there's anything bad on the show, except for Snoop Dogg. But you know what I mean, like, non-celebrity involvement-wise, WWE wrestling-wise, there's nothing bad here. Top to bottom, it's average to great. So, yeah, to me, that's a good top-tier one. Or upper top tier. WrestleMania 25. I'm going to put it below WrestleMania 14. Well, actually, you know what? I'll bump it up. We'll put it above 14. This pay-per-view's average as shit. That's kind of the best way to describe it. You only have one match that stands out. If it wasn't for Undertaker and Shawn Michaels absolutely killing it on this pay-per-view, who the hell else would remember WrestleMania 25? Look at the card, guys. Look at the card. You have a decent Money in the Bank ladder match, an okay World Heavyweight Triple Threat match for the belt, and the main event, it's a snoozer. Triple H and Randy Orton. Once again, Triple H just couldn't follow it. What's with him in main eventing and not being able to follow shit? But yeah, WrestleMania 25 it's the definition of just average for me. But I wouldn't say it's bad. WrestleMania 26, I really like this show a lot. But I'm going to put it below WrestleMania 22. Vince and Brett is a massive just shitfest. I can't even watch it for entertainment. I just can't get any enjoyment out of that one. I just love Bret Hart. I'd rather just not watch that. Um, Edge and Jericho. It's making a middle finger if you turn it. That's interesting. I didn't even try that. But um, Edge and Jericho was a good world title match. You had a really good Cena and Batista match. Who would have guessed, right? And then, of course, your main event's phenomenal. I think I like WrestleMania 25's match a little bit better. But Undertaker and Shawn Michaels, once again, absolutely fucking killing it on pay-per-view. So, yeah, just top to bottom, there's fun to be had for this pay-per-view. WrestleMania 27 can go to hell. Fuck you. Um, I put it below WrestleMania 11 personally right now. Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole is one of the worst things I've ever seen. And I watch all sorts of wrestling. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen. So, to me, this was a build-up to WrestleMania 28. That's all this was. You have The Miz and John Cena. I love The Miz, but I didn't really love him at the time. It took a little while. So I was like, well, this is a snoozer. You have CM Punk and Randy Orton is good. Cody Rhodes and Rey Mysterio is good. But, there's nothing really great other than Undertaker and Triple H, which, I don't know. I don't think that's as good as the Shawn Michaels matches. But, yeah, this pay-per-view, I'd like to forget about. WrestleMania 28. I don't view this pay-per-view nearly as high as most people do. If it were up to me, I would put this in the C category. But this is unbiased, so I'm going to go B. I think we'll go right here. Yeah, right below 22. I don't know. I just did not feel this show at the time. I didn't enjoy it. But there are some good things to be had here. Chris Jericho and CM Punk is great. The Hell in a Cell match, it is a masterpiece in terms of storytelling. I've always said that. But if you're looking for in-ring action, that's really not the match to be had. But it's a masterpiece in terms of storytelling. Even I was on the edge of my seat at Hooters watching this pay-per-view in 2012. I was on the edge of my seat for this match, and it takes a lot to get a pop out of me. So, yeah, it was awesome. But it's kind of like rewatching it, it's not as rewatchable, because it's kind of meant to be watched for the first time. It's suspenseful. You don't know what's going to happen. So, yeah, the end of an era match, end of an era became meaningless, though, because they just would continue on with their rivalry. Ongoing rivalry, I guess. But, yeah, and then the main event, I don't know, Rock and Cena, sorry, that just doesn't do it for me. It's a decent match, but, yeah, I just didn't want to see it. I'd rather see something else. If you were going to bring The Rock back, I'd rather see other stuff. It was the right match to make, but I think next year is what really soured the once-in-a-lifetime thing for me. WrestleMania 29, once again, you can fuck off. I put it below 27, just above WrestleMania 2. I hate WrestleMania 29. It's not my least favorite WrestleMania of all time. We'll get there. But, yeah, Brock Lesnar, Triple H, disappointing. Del Rio versus Jack Swagger. It's cool that they got highlighted and everything, but yeah, that's not WrestleMania. So yeah, disappointing world title match. Disappointing Mark Henry and Ryback. Like, talk about disappointing WrestleMania. This WrestleMania is just disappointing. I was supposed to go to this WrestleMania. It's not far from me. And I decided not to. We did not get the tickets last minute. I was starting to see the card. I was like, good lord, I'm not going to this. So yeah, I just didn't go. It was a waste of money to me. And the whole Rock and Cena thing, that's a really big fuck you to your fan base. That's proving that you just think they're idiots. So it should have been CM Punk in a triple threat. That's what it should have been. Cena, Rock, and Punk. That's what this should have been. That would have been phenomenal. Have it be elimination, like Punk said. I don't care. But Punk and Taker is kind of your only match on the show. That is a great match, though. WrestleMania 30. I'm gonna put. Oh, this is tough. Yeah, alright. That's where it's going to go for now. Like I said, at the end, we might position some stuff differently. WrestleMania 30, you have the end of the streak. Right time, wrong person to me. And I think Taker should have just called it after that one. You have Triple H and Daniel Bryan, which is just fucking phenomenal opener. Great Battle Royal. You have John Cena and Bray Wyatt, which is decent. But it's, of course, the main event. It's the story. Daniel Bryan beating Triple H, going to the main event, overcoming the odds. It felt like a Benoit situation. Like, I felt like I was watching WrestleMania 20 all over again. And, as you know, Chris Benoit is one of my all-time favorites, if not my all-time favorite. So, yeah. WrestleMania 30, top tier for me. Well, upper top tier. To me, A is still top tier. Like, it's a top tier WrestleMania. It's still great. It's not the top tier, but it's top tier. WrestleMania 31. To me, this is top tier. I put it as high as WrestleMania... Right below WrestleMania 19. I seriously put it there. To me, from a wrestling standpoint, top to bottom, this is great. You have everything you could ever want out of WrestleMania. It's kind of like WrestleMania 19. There's something there for everybody. You have nostalgia with Sting and Triple H. You have kind of that really great spot finish with Randy Orton and Seth Rollins. You have great in-ring work. You have just everything. And a great main event. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, that was phenomenal. That was a great main event. It's up there for me. Then you have Seth Rollins cashing in, which just ranks this even higher. It's just one of those moments you'll never forget. I wish I could have watched this one live. I was working for this one. I was not able to watch this WrestleMania live. I didn't request off for it. Everyone, I don't know if you guys remember this, but leading up to this one, at least a lot of the people I was talking to, a lot of the people I was hanging around at the time, no one was really excited for this pay-per-view. They were expecting this to be garbage, and it exceeded expectations. WrestleMania 32. Alright. This is my least favorite WrestleMania of all time, but I don't think it's as bad as WrestleMania 2. Yeah. You guys know how much I hate this show. Not much more needs to be said. The Hell in a Cell was a stinker. The main event was a stinker. Jericho and AJ Styles, they put on probably one of the better matches of the night. You had the triple threat women's title match. You got rid of the stupid butterfly belt. And we actually have the women's title now. And they fought for it. You know, that was probably the match of the night. And that's not saying much, because there was nothing else to compete for. Nothing else to compete with in terms of quality, so fuck them. Yeah. So, yeah, you got one good match out of that pay-per-view, really. WrestleMania 33. I don't know, this is C tier for me. Yeah, I'll put it below 13, above 7. I really don't enjoy this WrestleMania very much. The main event's a stinker. Taker versus Roman Reigns. This is when you just knew Taker should have retired. This is when you knew. You have John Cena and Nikki Bella versus Miz and Maurice. It's just, come on. You could have done so much better with this card. The match of the night was Shane McMahon and AJ Styles in the opener. The rest is just average. Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, good lord, that was bad. Yeah, I don't enjoy this WrestleMania at all. WrestleMania 34. I was at this WrestleMania. This is my WrestleMania. It's my only one. It is really uncomfortable to sit on the floor. Good God. Alright, so WrestleMania 34. I hate to do it, but yeah, to me it's kind of like top C tier. WrestleMania 35, I'm actually going to put right beside it. That kind of works out. I think I did that with my ranking earlier in the year. They were right there beside each other. WrestleMania 34 and 35 are good examples of shows that should not have run 6 fucking hours or whatever it was. Oh my God. WrestleMania 34, I enjoyed the first half a lot. Seriously, I loved it. And then after the Rousey match, it just tanked. And it sucks. It really does. If that second half was better, this could have been like A tier WrestleMania or like even higher. Who knows? Yeah, and now it's just sitting in the C tier. Yeah, unfortunately. WrestleMania 35, I did not enjoy at all. You know what? I don't know. I feel like, see, now I'm moving stuff around. I'm gonna actually put, we're gonna do this. Yeah, I'm moving stuff around already. Alright, there we go. We'll do that. I like WrestleMania 16 a lot more. Yeah, WrestleMania 35. The Seth Rollins Brock Lesnar match was disappointing to me. Like, come on. I wanted to see an actual match. Their SummerSlam match was better. That's what this one should have been. The main event, I just wasn't feeling it. I don't think it worked. It's fine if you want to have women main event, but this just wasn't the match to do it with. I would have done it with, like, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, honestly, like, that was a good WrestleMania women's main event. That was great. Like, that's how you do a WrestleMania women's main event. WrestleMania 36. Okay, so this one, I have to take into consideration COVID. You have to. So, I don't know. I actually think this is B tier. It's not a bad pay-per-view. It really isn't. We'll put it right. We'll put it low B tier. This could have been higher if it was a stadium show and we actually got all the matches we were supposed to. AJ Styles and Undertaker. This is controversial. I did not like it. I would rather see a singles match and then him put AJ Styles over and retire. Which, yeah, whatever. Like I said, there was a lot of changes were made. Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins was great. Charlotte and Ripley was great. Becky Lynch and, good Lord, what's her name? I can't even remember her goddamn name. Good God. Well, we have to look it up. Shayna Baszler. Yeah, Shayna Baszler. You can tell how much I just don't care for her. Yeah, that was an average match. There was a lot of strange booking. Like, Rhea Ripley should have won. I don't care what anyone says. She should have won. Baszler probably should have won as well. But it is what it is. The main event's decent. We didn't get Roman Reigns versus Dilberg. We got Braun Strowman and Goldberg. Well, Dilberg. And Braun Strowman won his world title there. And then the main event, Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre. They did what they could. I preferred they got more time. I just feel like Brock was just phoning it in. There was no crowd. He didn't care. But yeah, the first two-night WrestleMania, I think it worked. WrestleMania 37, though. Yeah, we'll put it there. Another two-night WrestleMania. I think this one worked for 2 nights. You had some good in-ring work here. You had Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, which was which was great. You had, let me read off. I have not rewatched this pay-per-view, actually. I've only seen it once, still. There's no insert, is there? No, there isn't. That's wonderful. But yeah, you of course had Edge, Roman Reigns, and Daniel Bryan. I almost said Bryan Danielson. That was great. You have Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre was decent. Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman I can go without. And Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Good lord. I need to stop smoking during these videos. Dude, we're way into this video at this point. But yeah, they put on a decent show. To me, this show, it's your average WrestleMania. Once again, COVID did have a little bit to play in it, so. Alright. How do I feel? How am I feeling about this? Alright. WrestleMania 31. Yeah, 31 we'll keep there. I don't know, I'm liking how this is. So yeah, I think I'm good. But definitely let me know your rankings here. Yeah, I think I'm good. You know what? I actually think 21 I would put B tier. Yeah, I think that's the only thing I'd change. So yeah, definitely let me know your rankings and everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Give me your thoughts down below. Give me some suggestions for more tier rankings. For now, peace out.